Hello everyone. We're going to talk about activities and their life cycles. So, what is an activity? Before we get into that, let's go over what a typical mobile user interaction looks like. Let's say you're watching some reaction videos on YouTube and you thought of your coworker and you wanted to share with him. So you hit the share button and compose an email. Then you thought it would be quite hilarious if you sent a reaction picture to a reaction video. So you open up the camera app and you take a couple selfies. These three screens go into a activity stack. At the bottom is the YouTube application, the middle is the composing email application, and the very top is the camera application. Each one of these screens is an activity, which is something that the users can interact with. Users can go back and forth between activities, and they don't necessarily have to be within the same application. After you take a couple selfies and you like the way your hair looked, you use it to send an email. The camera pops off the stack and returns to the composing email activity. Once you send the email activity pops off the stack, and you return back to the watching YouTube activity. Unlike desktop applications, where each application has a determined starting point and determined end point, activity is non-deterministic, meaning that each user can jump, hop, or skip between activities within the same application, or even between different applications. Often the users don't even know they are using multiple applications at once. To them, it just works. The activity model, though great as it is, has its own set of problems. To illustrate this, let's go through another example. You are on your way to school using your turn-by-turn mapping application. As you are driving, you get a call from your mom. You know your mom will get upset at you for picking up the phone while driving, but she'll also be upset if you don't pick up the phone. So you pull over aside and answer the phone. So what happens to the mapping application? Does it keep running while you're on your call? Map applications take extensive resources from the company to run on their servers. For users, it takes CPU cycles to draw the map vectors and use GPS signals to get their location, all while draining the battery life of their phone, leading to a poor user experience. Within the activity model, it's impossible to predict how your users will move between apps or how they'll use the apps at all. To fix this problem, Android introduces lifecycles. It's basically a statement machine with 6 key states: on create, on start, on resume, on pause, on stop, and on destroy. Okay, let's go look at some code to see this in action. So alright, this application I'm using, I already have all the code set up. As you can see, I have on create, which initializes variables and views, on start, which shows the views on the screen, but the user can't interact with it yet. On resume is when the user could finally react to your application. On pause just means your application is out of focus, say like you're in split screen. On stop is when your users are actually leaving your application. On destroy is when the system deletes your activity. I go ahead and use logs, and I use the tag lifecycle, and I added log D with the tag, and I showed a little message for each of them, just like that. Let's go ahead and start the application, and then we'll take a look at the logcat. Type in lifecycle. As you can see, just from starting the app, it went to on create, on start, and on resume. It went through 3 different states, and as we leave the application, it went through on pause and on stop, and then when we re-enter, it went back to on start and on resume. You can also click the recent apps. See, this is on top. This is the stack, and right on top is our pizza party app. If I go ahead and delete this, it goes to on stop and on destroy. Now that we have looked over the lifecycle functions, let's go back to our map problem. If you were an app developer for this application, which callback method would you override to save resources? And once the user returns to a row, which callback method should you override to restart the turn-by-turn navigation? Go ahead and put your answer in the comment section below.